Right, well guys, let's get these guys painted up. I'll just stick on some YouTube whilst I'm at it. Oh, what's this? Whoa, finished. Well, that was a real boost to my hobby. How you doing, guys? Big Mac Dansko here again today with a brand new episode of Warhammer Thoughty K. And today's episode, you may have guessed from the intro, is about using YouTube to boost your hobby. Now, why do I do YouTube? Let's start with that. Before we get into that, you may be wondering what I was watching in the intro to this video. And it was a channel I recently found called Warhammer Online. If you're not subscribed to them, check out the link in the description below. I can't remember exactly how I found them. I think it might have been through Frost and Fists, but I can't remember. If it was one of your videos and you did a shout out for them, post in the comments below, and then you can let everybody know what a great guy you are for finding them in the first place. The video they were doing was unboxing a game called Devil's Run Route 666. Now it's a Mad Max Fury Road style game with cars in a grim future. It's in a slightly smaller scale than things like Thoughty K, but definitely check that video out if that sounds like your kind of thing. Now, back onto the game plan. Right, so yeah, using YouTube to boost your hobby. And why did I get into YouTube in the first place? Now, I got into YouTube, into making videos for YouTube in the first place, just to help me keep track of my hobby, really. And I thought it'd help me get stuff done a bit better. And I also I'm interested in like recording things and stuff like that. So the idea of recording each time I progress on a set of miniatures and then posting it up to YouTube, I kind of quite like that idea. Let's talk specifically about how you can use YouTube to boost your hobby. So one thing you can do is use it to give you deadlines. Now, I don't game a lot, well, at all really. I game a couple of times a year with a mate, basically. And if I want to get miniatures painted to a deadline, I've got no deadlines to aim for, or very few. So one thing I do is enter people's like painting competitions, or any at the minute Idic Bay's got a terrain square building competition. And that's actually into probably the third week this week, I think, so I better get started on that. Otherwise it's going to be a real rush job. But yeah, different YouTubers run different competitions, and if you get involved in one of those competitions, it just gives you a deadline to aim for, and you know, a time frame in which you have to get something done. I'm not always the best person with deadlines when it comes to like when it came to being in school and doing coursework and stuff. I was never that great at keeping to the deadlines. But with YouTube and with my hobby, because it's something I really enjoy anyway, I do use the competitions and stuff as a little chance for me to boost my hobby, like I'm supposed to be talking about in this video. You know, Frost and Fist had a terrain on the cheap challenge. I got a pyramid built up for that. And is it built up to the best standard ever? No, but it was an idea I had in my head, and I wanted to get it out there and get it built on the tabletop, built and put on the tabletop. So it's built with basically a few layers of foam board, some toilet roll tubes, and foam board stacked up. So it's 3 different levels. It just gives you something interesting to put on your table, something maybe a bit line of sight blocking. And also it gives you some interesting sight lines, like if you can control that pyramid, put some snipers on the top or something, then it gives you a better view of the battlefield. But I wouldn't have had that piece of terrain if it wasn't for that competition. So you know, competitions like that definitely help boost my hobby. Now, other YouTubers do painting competitions, or even just give you the chance to display your painted miniatures on their channel. I think Vince Venturella does like a a hobby painting challenge thing where basically you get a miniature painted up and send him the picture on his Facebook page. Maybe, I'm not sure. And maybe I'm making this up, but I think he does. But you know, it's like if Vince Venturella doesn't do it, then I know Games Workshop do it at the moment on the Facebook pages. They have each month they focus on a different force, a different faction. They do it, and Forge World do it, and you have to get a certain race. It's often the stuff that's got new miniatures released for it, so it's obviously a bit of a marketing tool for them as well. But you have to get something of that race or faction built and painted, and then they'll display the winner's miniature. So that's, you know, just another little deadline to aim for. So I suppose this video isn't just about YouTube, it's using social media to boost your hobby as well. Now, another thing YouTube is good for is if you want your product, I was going to say, if you want your painting critiqued, and if you want tips and advice from other YouTubers, other hobbyists, you know, if you've not got a gaming club nearby, or you don't go to a gaming club that often, like me, for example, I never go to a gaming club, but if you want that critique from other YouTubers and hobbyists, then put your videos online. Yes, when you first start your channel, it doesn't just go brrrr and you get to 1,000 subscribers really quick. I'm still only on just over 200. You get shout outs from other YouTubers and stuff. That's one good thing to do, is start commenting on other YouTubers' videos, and then they see your channel, they see you've got a few videos, and they might subscribe to you. I know Idic Beer is a good one for that. He was one of my first subscribers, probably my first 10 subscribers, I think. Other than that, it was like friends and, you know, people that aren't that involved in the hobby that were my first subscribers. And, you know, comment on other hobbyist YouTubers' videos, and then they'll check out your channel and probably or possibly subscribe to you. Don't expect everybody to subscribe back to you when you subscribe to them either. Sometimes what you're doing in the hobby isn't quite their thing. Like for me, I largely subscribe to Thoughty K channels. I've just taken an interest in Age of Sigmar, so I'm looking a bit more at channels that do Age of Sigmar and stuff like that as well. But yeah, if you want feedback for your hobby, that's another great thing. YouTube is a great resource for that, because as your subscriber base slowly grows, you're going to get people with different levels of experience as well, and people that may be able to help you out. It's something as simple as thinning your paints. When I got back into the hobby and set up my YouTube channel, I still didn't thin my paints. It wasn't until I saw everybody talking in the videos about thinning the paints, and people on Facebook groups as well, recommending that people posting thin the paints. I thought there's no need for it, you know, it's painting a pot, you get it on your brush, you paint it on the miniature, but it does give you a much smoother finish. And were it not for YouTube or Facebook, then I probably would have never found that out. Now let's go back to deadlines. So one thing I was talking about earlier was entering other people's competitions and stuff in order to give yourself a deadline to aim for. You don't need those other competitions to have deadlines set for you. With your YouTube channel, you can set your own deadlines. So one thing I did a couple of years ago was October, and my challenge for myself that month was to get a video up every day of Orcs, and I did that. You know, I did 31 videos, and it was, you know, some videos were better than others. If I felt like I needed a bit of a break from painting, I'd just show some miniatures and talk. But I had an idea of, you know, the sort of numbers of units that I wanted to get painted, or what particular units I wanted to get painted in that month. So I set myself those goals, and did I achieve all of them goals? Honestly, I can't remember. But let's talk about Death Watch. I did a series towards the end of last year called My Watch Begins, or Our Watch Begins. I can't remember now. Go in my playlist and check it out. Yeah, so I did this one about the Death Watch, and I was trying to get all of the Death Watch miniatures I had painted up. I definitely didn't achieve that. I painted the miniatures from Death Watch Overkill, but I wanted to paint the miniatures from Death Mask as well, and I've I've not even got round to them, truth be told. But the ones I got painted up, I probably wouldn't have, they probably would have been still sat on the table, maybe base coated, maybe undercoated, and you know, I wouldn't have got them ones completed. It's a great way of also keeping a record of how you do when you set yourself certain challenges. Maybe next time I do a challenge like that, I won't set myself such a high number of miniatures to be painted. So it's something that helps you keep track of how your painting goes, and then you can adapt in the future. I'm going to get back to the Death Watch because there's records on there on YouTube in the ether. There's records of me saying I will come back to this, like right now. So I will go back to the Death Watch, and I'll get what I was attempting to get painted finished. And it's just it's like you can use YouTube like a diary, basically. A diary of how you get on doing things. I did this on this day, I did this on this day, I did this in this week, I did this on this month. And I find that a really useful tool personally, because when I'm setting myself challenges and goals, I might not always achieve them, but it gets me started on a road that I will eventually get to the end of. I've no idea how many miniatures I have, but a lot of them are unpainted. At the minute, I'm going through a really good spell of not buying any new miniatures. I did, however, win a competition recently, and I'm going to buy some miniatures with that. But yes, that's a topic for another day. So yeah, use YouTube like a diary. One last thing it's good for is remembering what paints you used. Now, some people write all the paint formulas down. I am not that organised. I'm really not. My hobby area is a mess. If I put a pad on it, it'd be even messier. So one thing I do is I mention what paints I used in my YouTube videos. And then I can go back and look at my playlists for, say, my Death Skull Orcs, or for my Eanden Eldar, or for my Harlequins, and then I can go back and check what paints I used. It's something really simple like that can just help you keep track of the way you did something, and therefore you can replicate that in the future. So yeah, this video has been about YouTube boosting your hobby, and I think for me it definitely does help. Let's talk now, actually, before I go, let's talk about how some people are a bit scared of YouTube. They don't want to appear on camera or whatever. Before I started my YouTube channel, I was a bit like, oh, do I want to do it? I don't know. Ooh, because I used to really hate my voice and be self-conscious about my voice. I think over the years I've just grown a thicker skin to people taking the mickey out of my voice and stuff like that. But whenever I used to say something and then somebody said it back to me, you know, like kids do when they repeat something, I was always dead self-conscious of it. Oh, you can't do that. That's how people do an impression of my voice, and it always used to get to me, but it doesn't really bother me anymore. I think I actually like the sound of my voice now. And as you can probably tell when I do these sit and talk videos, it's basically me just talking, so I can listen back to it while I'm editing it. I can listen back to it while I'm watching it for the first time, making sure it's uploaded properly on YouTube. Yeah, so get over your, if you can get over your initial resistance to the idea of doing YouTube videos. You don't have to appear on camera. You can just have your hands on camera whilst you're showing off your miniatures, your lovely painted miniatures. YouTube's not for everybody. That's the thing. Some people just wouldn't find it useful because everybody's different. But if you've ever been sat on the fence about creating a YouTube channel, uploading YouTube videos, definitely give it a try. It could help boost your hobby. It might not. You know, you might not need the help to boost your hobby. You might be one of those guys that's just motivated to get miniatures painted, which is fantastic. I wish I was like that. But yeah, if you've ever been sat on the fence about it, give it a try. Upload a video, whether it's you on camera or, as I said, painting miniatures, or you might have miniatures turning around on a turntable and you're filming it. They don't have to be the most professional videos. You'll see from my videos that mine are largely very unprofessional. I've started using this KineMaster software on my phone to edit my videos, so they're a bit less, they're a bit more professional now than they were before. But I still got that KineMaster watermark up here, and it's you learn as you go along, kind of thing with YouTube. Some people want it to be perfect straight away, but very few people when they start YouTube have things perfect. So just learn at your own pace, and your channel will grow slowly. Like I've been on YouTube now for I don't know how many years, 4 years or something like that. I've done about 190 videos and I've got just over 200 subscribers. Recently I was on about 178 for ages, but then recently I started doing these Thoughty K videos and my subscribers started to go do, 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 do. So I don't know, some of you guys must enjoy listening to me anyway. We'll leave it there for the time being, guys. Try YouTube if you want to, and check out Wargamer Online in the link below. I'll put a link to that video I showed at the start. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you on the battlefield.